Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with one last run. I'm going to give you my quick take on this event. 100 race event to win the Mclaren F1 GT. A good car with good numbers and hopefully will be useful in the future. Now, going right from the end, let's talk about the end in reverse instead of going from forward back. If you can get the F1 GT, it's probably worth it to run this event. First of all, if you got that far, you probably have resources. And two, there are 2 stage 6s to be gained by keep running the event. Although I'm not even sure if you can get to 95 without more than 1 stage 6. Who knows? But if you can, that's actually worth running just to get those 2 stage 6s for this car. And hopefully you get lucky and get body. Body being a strong stage 6 for almost all these cars except maybe F1 where engine actually is more helpful, I think. But regardless, talking about lock-ins. First lock-in, maxed car. I don't care what you lock in. Fully elite maxed car is your best option because you want to leverage the strongest cars possible so when you do relays, you don't have a lot of problems. Lock-in number 2, you have 2 choices, Viper or CLK GTR. Dodge Fusions are much easier to get. However, CLK GTR has the side benefit of being the second fastest or third fastest car in the Showdown, which you're going to need to do to get lock-in number 5. But let's talk about 345. 345 is interchangeable, it looks like, between these guys and that. So it's up to you which ones you lock in 3, in 4, and in 5. But expect all 3 to have to be decently built. This being a final, it's either going to be easier or it's going to be really hard. Now, series finals, depending on the event, I've found some to be easier than others. Mostly if the locking cars are really good, they feel easier simply because the cars are good, and even at stage 5 only they get really fast. But if the cars are not so good, they get really tough. Now, good news for us is that all these locking cars are pretty decent, and therefore there's a good chance that we can get through this event and get to the final race 70 to win the car at least, without having to have like 5 stage 6s for every single car. You still want this one maxed, that one probably maxed. These 3 are the ones where you may be able to get away with slower, but where it's going to become a problem is, of course, near race 70. When you get to like race 60 something, you may have relays that'll be really challenging without fast enough cars. And then finally, these 3 races being timed races are probably going to be 2, 4, 5 or 3, 4, 5 or whatever. It's going to require those cars to be fast enough to get through those times. So we'll have to see what actually ends up being, but there's hope that it won't be too bad. Now, there's a related showdown, and the simple truth in any showdown is the fastest car is the best car. Now, the fastest car is the F1 GT. So, but assuming we need lock-in number 4 or 5 or 3, whatever, the C4 Corvette to get there, then you need to win it first. And you probably don't have the F1 GT to do it unless you cheated. So let's talk about the next fastest, which is the 911 GT1 Strasa version. However, the Strasa version is only barely faster than the CLK GTR, which, because it's lock-in number 2, you may be able to build with bronze keys. Fingers crossed that that crate is a bronze key crate. That means it is a better choice to max the CLK GTR than max the Viper GTS SR2 using bronze keys and locking it in, because now you have leverage to do well in the showdown. That is really the only decision here that really impacts how you may progress. So my feeling is car number 3, being the F1 fully elite, is almost a tenth slower than the other 2. Therefore, when you're talking about first day racing, the other 2 will be the ones you'll see near the earliest part of the 1400 marks, and then everybody with the F1 elites will start to get there. After that, it trickles down to the next fastest bunch, and you're talking about the F50 GT, and then we're talking about the fully elite, fully max S7 twin turbo, and then it jumps down in performance quite a bit from there. So your best choices are naturally the 911 Strasa version and CLK and F1 fully elite, fully maxed. All right, so that's the showdown, and it's typical 1400 to get the car, which, you know, over the span of seasons, it started originally at 1200 and went to 1300. Now it's at 1400. Who knows? Someday it may end up at like 1800. It all depends. But with the player base not racing as hard as they used to, in my opinion, I think 1400 is about where they're going to keep it. Unless something happens and the game gets a lot more players really fast. Now, all that being said, this is the final. This is the final prize. Now, many events like the American racing, I mean not American racing, but the American race series, you know, those final prize cars have been somewhat disappointing in some sense. And some of the supercar sign series final prize cars have been somewhat disappointing. But this one, based on what I've learned from Nitro CSR2's account, is decent, very decent. In fact, pretty good. Might actually be excellent. Now, the one thing that makes an excellent live racer or excellent car in the game in live is always that it is low performance point, high evo until it's fully maxed, at which point only the fastest car matters. But this car is definitely high evo. It is not necessary to get stage 6s, but you're going to be able to get 2. And then if you get the right ones, you can build quite the high evo car in the lower lobbies. I mean, the lower being 9, 10, 11, 12. It, however, does not seem to have a huge dyno beating potential, unlike some other cars out there. That only means that it's probably going to end up being more stable. You're going to have to be a little more careful with it in the beginning. And then once you stabilize it in a good lobby, this car should do well in live against most cars, except for those that can match you in the same level of lobby advantage and can beat you on dyno beating. But then you'll be pushing each other, so you know it still will be even fight, or somebody's gonna win and then get bumped. So it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, a worthy prize card to get. So good luck to everyone who's going for this. The event itself, again, race 70, you get the car. Race 100, you get some more prizes. But really, the main, that's kind of lame for race 100 prize. But really, the best prize here would be the 2 stage 6s and the gold and some of the keys. But that's about it. All right, so good luck with this event and this final. They're pushing these things out fast, fast, fast. We'll probably get another event coming as soon as this one's about to run its course. And then, you know, I already see the update notes with all kinds of new stuff. So expect that we're going to be bombarded with event after event after event. So you pick and choose your battles to figure out which one you want to go for and how much resources you have and or you don't have to really get through these. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. If you have anything to add, feel free to add them in the comments. And if you like the video, leave a like. If you like my channel and like this kind of videos, subscribe, hit the bell, and you get notified when I put out new videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.